forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Okay. So, very good morning to all of you. Hi, Syria, and hi, Mario. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what do we have today?
Of course. So the first question is, when presenting awards, how does USCIS differentiate between gold, silver, or other award tiers?
Well, it's a very interesting question because many people believe that you need to have a gold as any award for the purpose of your EB1A. But let's understand that legislation does not kind of differentiate between the awards. It's like saying that if somebody were to participate in Olympic, I mean, you get gold, silver, or bronze, you would definitely be a contender for, one-time award category, which is you don't have to fulfill any criteria for that then actually. Prima facie, the law doesn't kind of demand any kind of a preference. And if USCIS were to ask this, it could be challenged by virtue of a strong rebuttal which would be there. So when it comes to presenting an award, the quality of the award, who were the judges for the award, on what basis you got the award, is it related to your expertise? That would matter a lot actually, rather than whether the tire is gold, silver, or platinum for that matter. Well, at the same time, I would like to caution that there have been certain RFEs which I have seen which do say that, oh, you got a silver award or a bronze award and did not get the highest tier award. And it may not fulfill the requirement. However, I mean, that can be kind of a contested by virtue of a strong legal argument actually here. And one need not worry about it as long as one is focused on one's other overall achievements. And awards are just a byproduct of your overall other work actually. It is just a kind of a stamp of your excellence, as the entire EB1A is a stamp of your excellence. This would be a stamp of your excellence. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next question they ask, I'm trying to understand how the next league program decides what not to include in a case. I feel like I've done a lot, but not everything is equally strong. Do you help narrow things down and only focus on what really matters, or is it more about including everything?
Absolutely not. I mean, recently we wrote an article actually on saying that we do kind of delete things what does not matter. And if you are interested in the link in the article, it was published in Apple News, and we will send you the link. It is in the comment section below. So please have a look at it. Now, coming back to your specific question, how do we decide what not to include in a particular case? Please understand something that is not related to your expertise. That's number one. Something that you cannot connect to, your job, or your by virtue of your kind of any other, which is a standalone, that does not make sense. So if you have done a critical role because of which that manifests into an original contribution, because of that original contribution you got an award, and that award helped you to avail certain membership, that membership was represented, you did some article by virtue of that membership, it got published in the media, because of that media and the work that you did, there was a media about you also actually. These are all things by virtue of which everything gets connected. If you are going to look something in the standalone, that does not make any sense actually. And if there is no impact by virtue of your work, so the first is connecting to your expertise, second is interconnectivity, and third is an impact. If you can show all the three things in any one of your initiatives, that will suit the purpose. Okay, that's what I will decide whether to include anything in your case or will not to include in your case. So let's move to the next question. I hope this helps.
Of course. So then the next question, another aspirant chair. I have 10 plus professional patents in the new field of AI of inference, and it's a new field from early 2023. They are not granted, but what if they are significant? Even then, USCIS will have an RFE?
I mean, I am not able to comprehend at this particular moment of time that why provisional patent is valid only for 1 year actually. So from early 2023, if we are having it by 2024, 25, and we are in 26, they would have expired by this time actually. And that's number one. Second thing, I always mentioned to you in my previous question, what not to include in your case. If you're having 10 provisional patents, if the intention or at the time of you apply for a provisional patent is that you want to protect the idea and you are going to apply for a full patent actually. So why the full patent was not applied so far actually is the question that would be raised. And any attorney also, before you forget, before forget the USCIS, even an attorney may raise this question actually. A qualified attorney will definitely ask you that what happened to this patent, and I'm not very sure whether any good attorney would take up this case of provisional patents of such a large number. If you have taken a provisional patent just to protect certain idea which is already impactful, which already has certain significance, now how are you defining the significance of your patents actually? How it is impacting the field? Do we have some references? Do you have some expert opinion letters based on which what you are doing it? Because our statements as beneficiaries would not have any impact on that otherwise. Okay. So I think there is a lot of gaps in this particular way, in this particular question, and we need to have more clarity. Please reach out to us and or seek to advice from a legal expert. I think they can give you a better advice on this particular aspect. Okay. So let's move to the next.
Certainly. So our next question, they've said, I've been researching EB1A for a while, and there's a lot of conflicting advice out there. How does the Next League program simplify that and give a clear direction? I'd like to avoid second guessing every step of the way.
Wonderful. I think it's a very pretty straightforward response from our end on this. We define it by 4 steps actually. So number one is you have to define your expertise. Without any expertise, it does not make any sense. The next is organizing your criteria. So this entire process, what we are talking about is called a done process, and it is itself patented what we have actually, and it can be replicated successfully. It has been replicated almost 58 times so far. We've been so many EB1A achievers, and this is the way how a petition needs to be drafted actually. So first is defining your expertise, organizing the criteria, identifying the gaps, and then nurturing the profile. And last but not the least is execution. Now, what kind of recommendation letters do you need? What kind of expert opinion letters you need? How to work with an attorney? So that's what we will try to share with you in that case. So I repeat, then your petition becomes EB1A done. So it is define, organize, nurture, and execute. If you want more information on that, please reach out to us, and we will give you a link below on the done process. Please watch that link also in the comments. In addition to the article what I told you about the Apple News, you will have this in the second comment. So please watch that. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Sure thing. The next question is, I'm a startup founder in the tech space and my focus has been on building products and growing the company. I don't have traditional academia achievements, but I've done a lot of in terms of execution. Would the Next League program help position a founder profile like mine for EB1A?
Of course, I think we have done it already for some few people who were startup founders. And the parameters for the evaluation, because traditionally I can understand from where are you coming actually, that you are trying to look at it from a perspective of whether if I'm not into a scientific field, then how would my kind of petition would get approved? I think you need to be more focused, more specific, more granular into what are the components for your tech space are. And if it has been a product, we have helped a lot of product managers. So it will be an amalgamation of lot of cases what we have done something before. And please reach out to Mario, Syria, or I. We'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, next, please.
Absolutely. So the next question they ask, I see that many EB1A aspirants are mentoring on different platforms like Crya, ADP List, etc. I'm wondering which EB1A criteria will be met for mentoring on those platforms.
I'm not very sure whether I think I would like to qualify myself to give advice on this, but please be cautious of like today everybody who becomes EB1A is calling themselves a consultant or a coach on EB1A. If you want to understand their journeys, and it would be a very good idea to talk about them and to learn from them. This is not something about which criteria would be approved or not, because everybody is Everybody who is a successful EB1A achiever may not be good at coaching. It's like saying that somebody who is a good law professor may not be a good lawyer. Somebody who is a good maths scorer, even Olympiad people do score high, or PhD in mathematics necessarily, or masters in mathematics may not necessarily become a good teacher, for which you need to pass a certification exam. So there is a license required for every profession. And as far as I can speak only about ourselves, lawyers are qualified professionals, and Nextleague is also a law firm given a license by and under the supervision of Arizona Supreme Court. We don't offer our services on Kriya or ADP list or something like this, because that may not be necessarily the right way to kind of conduct for the purpose of serious EB1A as a coaching program. But however, if somebody is kind of talking about their own careers or their own journeys, it might serve as a wonderful platform to kind of understand. So I would keep myself, refrain myself from commenting on any specific platform with reference to EB1A coaching. Okay. So let's move to the next question.
Sure thing. So the next question is, I'm a senior data scientist with patents, some citation and experience leading projects, but I've seen profiles like mine still get RFEs or even denied. How does the Nextleague program go beyond just listing achievements and actually make the case strong under scrutiny?
Remember, Nextleague is a coaching program, and we are talking about legal services per se, actually. So the idea is to empower you to understand the nuances of immigration jurisprudence, actually, that how to kind of function, how to kind of do things in a most appropriate manner. How are you connecting? So fundamentally, please remember trying to fit into the criteria. And you saw the earlier question, so I want 10 provisional patents. Will that work? One needs to be very, very cautious about this, actually. It should not be done in a best possible way, I would say that. If you have been a senior data, we have seen people who are 20. We had a 26-year-old data scientist, and by the time he was 28, he got it approved. Also, actually, we have even seen somebody who is 26-year-old, in healthcare field getting approved, but also, somebody drawing $1 million salary getting rejected. And it is the act by USCIS is definitely not a random act, actually. There is a very calibration, there is a due process that happens in terms of, kind of a adjudication process, which happens. The question is not about just listing achievements. The idea is that whether you can connect it to your expertise. I mentioned 3 things. Whether you can connect it to your expertise, whether there is an interconnectivity with other elements and initiatives which are there. And number 3, and most important, is that can you create part of a cohesive story here, actually. If you cannot do that, then we should not be using that, actually, whether it is a patent or essentially cohesive story by virtue of an impact. If there is no impact, you cannot use this. And it is not 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3. All 3 out of 3 should be fully met, actually, here. So I think what you need is a more education on EB1A. Please reach out to us or watch certain videos which are available on EB1A by us, and that will help you. And let's take the last question, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last question they ask, how should recommenders be selected in positions? I have several CEO and VP level leaders in my organization who are willing to write LORs about my impact, but I'm not sure how to organize and have them write the necessary information to show the USCIS my impact.
Well, there is a particular framework that we always follow, that someone should be talking about themselves first in terms of their qualification. They should be aware of your work. Just getting names from several CEOs and VP leaders in your organization, I don't understand how can there be a several CEO. There should be only one CEO of an organization. So there could be multiple level people who could be offering, and if you're CEO or a CXO, possibly you meant to say CXO leaderships, you want to say possibly, and if they are willing to help you out, but they should be aware of your work. And as a leader or as a kind of a employee, what impact you have been able to create, that should be shown, best possible way. Then only it will make sense. Okay. So wish you all the best, guys. And that's all we have today. So if you want to reach out to us, if you want to come on the show or put forward your questions, please let us know. We'll be more than happy. Reach out to Mario, Syria, or I, and we are there for you. Okay, have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance, please reach out to us. We are here to help you every step of the way in your journey towards achieving your American dream. Let's connect and make it happen together.